Oh, hi there, everybody. And everybody, hello. Paul E. Hendricks here. Strain on Society. The E stands for elf today. Say something about it. Just kidding. No hyphy here. It's Christmas Eve, everybody. I actually recorded a Christmas episode. It was supposed to release last week. Except I spent half of it railing against things I didn't want to talk about. So the whole half of it was not Christmassy. And I had my Christmas sweater on, everything. And so I posted it. And I took it down and I recorded the first half, explaining why I didn't want it in there. And I wanted to just focus on being grateful and focus on service, focus on Christmas. And I didn't put that up. So, that's why I'm here today, y'all. It's Christmas Eve. I love Christmas Eve. I love Christmas. I love the holidays. I'm not like a religious person, and not a Christ follower in the form of I don't follow Christianity or anything like that. Jesus, from what we know, seems to and appears to be a real had been a real historical figure, a real person, and an awesome motherfucking dude. So in that aspect, yeah, I can follow the teachings because he's good. Service, just love each other. But I just love Christmas. And I love the time of year. I love giving gifts. Me and my wife give gifts all year. We give gifts to each other. We give gifts to other people. Giving, when you're a kid, you love getting all the gifts. And for me, getting older, giving gifts is awesome. It's just fun. I love thinking with my wife in particular. We used to do we actually went many years. We lived in Hawaii and everything where we'd buy like a big family gift, like maybe a new TV or PlayStation or something, but we didn't really give out gifts based on the philosophy that if we wanted something bad enough throughout the year, we just bought it. And then we kind of missed it. So once we moved to Austin, there's so many local artisans here that's great. And one of our friends, Tara Biddleman, hopefully I'll have on the show one day, and some other of our friends, they put pop-ups all over the place all year round, and vendors and artisans, and from anywhere from jewelry makers to antique collectors. I mean, there's everything. And I was just a couple weeks ago, and I finally finished up shopping. Well, yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago. There was one pop up this year. The problem was there weren't pop ups, everything because of COVID. So it was hard because we focus. Our goal is always we set a limit of spending, and everything has to be purchased locally by a local artist, by a local creator. It was challenging this year due to COVID because there weren't the pop-ups. There weren't like in Austin, we have the Blue Genie every Christmas, which is it's like a mall, except it's all local artisans. And also same at Palmer Event Center. And all these events go around. Our friend Tara that I mentioned is always putting them on. So this year it was hard to do. There's COVID. Finally, a couple weeks ago, there was one at, the Vegan Nam is one of the best vegan taco spots you'll ever eat at. And I have a lot of friends from out of town who are vegan that would definitely agree with that. And they also have a new truck, which they do vegan fried chicken, hot Nashville chicken, vegan. I did a vegan brisket burger that day. I brought home. But anyway, and then there's also Milky Way shakes. It's all vegan shakes. I'm getting my blood sugar levels raising just talking about it. But anyway, they put on the Wandering Vegan marketplace that Tara put up, and so I got to go there, and I was looking for one gift, and I really wanted it made by someone locally, and hadn't had the opportunity. I've looked around at some local artists and hadn't found what I wanted, and went there with the hopes that I would find it. And not have to order something. And I have a friend that I wanted to order from, Jason Kiley, and which I will probably next year. Had I been in a functioning mindset and thought about it with enough time in advance. So I wanted something local. I wanted something cool. Found it there. was great. Also found the next guest that we're going to have when I come back in January after the holidays are over. I also ran into a creator there, an artist. Her name is Jasmine, like the flower, and she was dope. And she had just beautiful, some beautiful art, things that she had remade, and some really beautiful bongs. And we just started talking, and I thought, oh, how great! I'd love to have her on here. So that you could be looking forward to her. She'll probably be the first guest on the episode after the holidays. And then I also got a hot Nashville chicken sandwich to take home, the brisket sandwich. I got a milkshake that didn't make it home. But anyway, it was a little challenging in that aspect, but I'm glad that we share gifts again. I love the funnest part is even this year made it more challenging, but it's we buy gifts. I mean, we know each other well. We've been together for 20 plus years. We've lived together for 20 plus years. So it's we buy stuff without like that we think the other person or that we can pull out that kind of something that they would want that they might not ever buy or see, or in my case, they don't know that they want. She doesn't know that she wants it until she gets it. And it's just super fun. And we're never disappointed. And I've gotten some great, one of my favorites is this switchblade, which she got one year. I love it. And the day she got it for me, it was in my back pocket, and I was really high, and I sat on it. Don't do that, kids. Don't carry a switchblade in your back pocket if you plan on sitting down. Okay. I'm just looking for. I mean, we do really well. And if you know, we're plant based. We don't eat meat or anything. We don't really participate in the leather trade or anything like that. However, one of the best gifts ever. This was the same year as the switchblade. Was this leather-bound journal? Now it was a lot nicer when I got it. It's taken a beating. This was 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Yeah, and it's recycled leather, repurposed leather. And I'm a writer. If y'all don't know that, I'm an author. But it's just, and I've used it, as you can see, and there's a couple books in here. And it's a prized possession that I'll always keep. So we're really good at picking out stuff. And that brings such joy because it's really a gift coming from love, coming from how well what's something that I can get for this person that they'll really enjoy. Sometimes it's toys. It's just a lot of different things. And that's there's just a super amount of joy in watching my wife open those. And when we would be with family and friends, watching our family and friends open presents, it's just a blast. You guys know, if you give gifts, how much that joy, and when you can bring joy to other people, super fun, super awesome feeling. So anyway, I'm excited about it. Like I said, it's one of my favorite holidays. We're not obviously we didn't go anywhere for this. My parents are both resting in peace right now. I hope. I don't know. They passed away within a couple of years of each other, and my whole life they were big screamers. So when I say rest in peace, whatever peace means to them, because if they found each other, I'm sure there's some Earl Hendricks, you son of a bitches, and God damn it, Pat. I don't know why I did that like I was singing in a hardcore band. Think of that more with a West Virginia accent from my dad. God damn it, Pat. That's not right. And my mom's from Alabama, so she's got that southern swagger and southern accent. But anyway, so we're not going anywhere. We're staying here. Every year we used to do what we called the Island of Misfit Toys Christmas celebration. Once we started living in Hawaii, my first Christmas there, I lived with some roommates, and this is before we were plant-based eaters. And every year, before we lived in D.C., we're both from Ohio, we'd go to Diane's family's for Christmas Eve, and they're Italian and Catholic, and they do the Feast of the Seven Fishes. And man, it was such a great introduction I got to that when I started going to Christmas then. It was so good. Eating all the seven different courses, or not seven different courses, seven different meals, or seven different dishes with seven different fishes. Seven different fishes. There's a rap in there somewhere. I won't put it on you right yet. And I remember peeling the skin off of, I'm high now, the little fishes that we would eat, and that we would peel them and try to despine them, but sometimes not despine them, and then put them on a put them in the oven, bake them with a. Why is this forgetting? But anyway, I remember all that, and it was a really good time. And we continued that with my roommates and some friends, and Christmas Eve in Hawaii. Um, the first year I was there for Christmas, and well, the first year I lived there for Christmas. The previous Christmas, Diane had lived there, and I was there visiting, and we did Christmas at our friend Scott's house, who lives in Austin, also is from here, and is one of the key people in helping us move here. And we used to live with them when we first moved here, him and his husband and their baby, our daughter, not a baby now. That was 7 years ago. So. Our traditions, so every year starting in Hawaii, then that was Christmas Eve, the first year we had there. And then after that, we started doing the Island of Christmas Toys, where we'd have people over. Because Hawaii is like a lot like Austin. When you go to like a very urban area or metropolitan area, and there's it's very transient. Hawaii is there are a lot of people there that aren't from Hawaii. They're from the mainland, and anyone that lives there or has lived there knows how expensive flights are during the holidays. So a lot of people stay at home or stay on the island. We never wanted to go home to Ohio, to Cleveland, in eastern northern Ohio, because it's fucking snowier than a motherfucker there, and we're in Hawaii. We'd like to go, but we at the time we'd like to go. We went and visited Ohio in like spring and summer. So it started off pretty small, and we had another place in Waikiki. And then by the time we left, they grew into these huge all day. Like they would start at like 1 p.m. and go until, I don't even know. I'd pass out sometimes. It was just lots. Everybody brought food. And we even had some friends from Canada that would be in Hawaii for holidays, and they'd come over. A lot of people we knew just from social media. And they just turned into really fun events. And even our local friends that after they'd go to spend the holidays or spend Christmas afternoon with their families, and all that, and have dinner, and then they'd come over to our house. So it ended up being just a great time. So much fun. And we continued that when we moved to Austin. And then the last time was, I think it was like 3 years ago. And I do believe that is, it's been 3 years. Yeah. And Austin, very similarly, there's a lot of folks here that are transient. They don't, and the people weren't going home. So we'd been having it, and it got bigger and bigger. And I believe the last one that we had, there was 40, 50, maybe plus people in our house at the same time, and we live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. There was just a lot of people, and there was a lot. And there were some edible brownies, trays, and there were some people that don't really participate in cannabis that did participate in edibles. So it ended up being just a raucous affair and hysterical. And we talked about it. If you guys ever if you watched the episode a few back with Joe Brundage, my favorite poet. And that's the party, the last one that we had, where he walked out of the bathroom and was surrounded by all these bikers that helped him get home due to his overzealousness with the brownies, we'll say. Because he never mentions in the story that he ate 2 hand-sized THC-infused brownies. But that was the story that was the last party. And after that, we'd been doing it for about a decade, the party, maybe a little more even, maybe 11 years or so. And then the next year we were just, and we also combined that. We also occasionally would have Thanksgiving parties and Christmas parties. It was just getting to be too much. And it's not like anything was out of hand or whatever. It was just exhausting. And so the following year, which was 2 years ago, this will be the third one, we just decided not to do that. And we sat, and my wife, for the first present we opened that day, was matching Ralphie PJs from A Christmas Story. We put those on, and we sat around. We opened our gifts, and we drank coffee, and I got high. We just ate great food, and it was the year they released, Netflix released Infinity War on Netflix that day, Christmas Day. We couldn't find it, and our friend Joe, Joe's just in this story all over the place. he's the one that posted it, and so he was trying to help us find it because you couldn't just type in Avengers Infinity War. Netflix was playing Christmas games like my goddamn name is Rudolph. You feel me? And so we watched that. Maybe we might even have watched it twice. And we just had a really good day. So last year we were like, yeah, fuck it, let's do that again. So this year we decided, we discussed maybe having a dinner. Rather than just having a party where people showed up when they wanted and all day, we'd have a dinner and just invite a few friends over. And then, of course, no, we're not doing that because of COVID. And I know I'll get statements and people say, "Oh, you'll be afraid of." Yeah, I have diabetes, motherfucker. Google the results of it. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on in my life, following my vision that I love, and it's not that I'm afraid of death. I enjoy life, and I very much want to enjoy life and see that. And I've gotten into discussions with people. Well, when it's your time, it's your time to go. You'll go. I love people that say that bullshit because then I ask, oh, do you walk out into oncoming traffic? Do you jump out of airplanes without a parachute? Do you wear a seatbelt even? Do you wear a helmet when you ride a motorcycle? Do you stop at stop signs? Do you stop at red lights? People that say that shit are full of shit because they want to live too, because they follow a lot of rules that they're so unconscious about they don't even realize it. We are physiologically and biologically built with a fight or flight mechanism, which is to keep us alive. So, and I don't, if you want to go and you guys are healthy, and your family's healthy or whatever, I don't, hey, do you, baby. But as far as I go, nah, I'm good. And my folks are gone. And if we did go back to Ohio to visit our families, my in-laws, Diane's folks are, my father-in-law already has lung disease and is on an oxygen tank. And there's no fucking way we would go and put them in that position. As much as they'd like to see us, and Diane would like to see them. As Diane would like to see them. I feel like some of y'all might know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, man, I just want to. I want to think about this whole podcast of mine, this show, this journey with Rev Paul, with Straight On Society. All started during this pandemic. And started just basically, I never even did Facebook Lives before. And I started doing some because a friend of mine had a lot of, would get samples in for orders and was just giving them to me to sample because I smoke cannabis. And I would talk about them on Facebook Live. I'd smoke them on Facebook Live. And when surprisingly, I started getting a lot of engagement, and then also recognized there was a need because there's a lot of people. Like I live in Texas, and a lot of other people that do. Texas is goddamn size of more countries where it's illegal. So based on there's a lot of websites, apps, and things that you can use to find out, but you kind of get what comes down here. You know what I mean? You don't have a lot of the you don't have a lot of the selection that you're going to have in states that are legal, that have dispensaries and things of that nature. So and we do get a good amount that comes down here, and some that's grown from here, and others that comes in from California, Colorado, and all that. California, by the way, is killing the game, just so everybody knows. I know people might take issue with that, but they are. Also, who would have guessed that Oklahoma is killing the fucking game? If you saw the interview I had, especially when it comes to concentrates, with Nature's Kiss in Tulsa, or my homie J-Rod, and I did an episode with him last couple weeks ago. Talking about concentrates and dabs and terpene. Just it was a fucking wonderful thing. I had to go back and rewatch part of it so I could smoke concentrate. Because, you put it out in the world and it'll come to you. The next thing I want to learn how to do is manage $20 million. Put that out there too. I want to learn how to manage it, how to use it effectively to secure and put into action my vision with Bully Ranch, the show, my books, all that stuff, and my desire for traveling more. So I'll put it out there too. Within 24 hours, I had a gram of concentrates after that podcast. So after this one, this isn't. I'm just kind of, I'm not doing a review or anything in this, but fuck it, put it in there too, because yeah, fuck yeah. So I hope everybody's going to have a safe and happy and merry holiday, Christmas time, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all the different celebrations out there. That's why a lot of us say happy holidays, or people say it's a war on Christmas. Fuck you. Christianity has the largest number of devotees in this world. It used to be Islam. Well, when I looked that up last, it was Christianity. So no, but a lot of us have respect because we know that there's a lot of different religions, people of different religious faiths and celebrations, and pagans even, because the real reason for the season is paganism. But we won't even talk about that. So when I say happy holidays, I'm just being inclusive. And you know what? It doesn't hurt me one little motherfucking bit to be inclusive. And it wouldn't hurt you either. You just got a big fucking ego and a poor attitude. But that's okay, because you know what? Merry Christmas to you and happy holidays to you as well. Because I'm trying to be like baby Jesus in this motherfucker right here now, right now. I'm trying to be like baby. What would baby Jesus do? He'd relight this spliff. Not a spliff. There's no tobacco in it. But I was shocked that that's how folks smoked when I lived in Europe in my younger years in the military when I was stationed there, and had a lot of European friends, a lot of German friends, and would get high with them. I was smoking spliffs where you add tobacco, which I do on occasion now because I always enjoyed it. This is what baby Jesus would do. Baby Jesus would smoke cannabis and just do great things. I'll leave you guys with this, man. When I woke up this morning, it was about 5. And I was making coffee and doing, whatever shit I do in the morning. Make some coffee. I'll pee in the coffee pot to make the coffee, although that would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Don't worry, I would never do that. I like coffee way too much. And I flipped on the TV. But I had it on mute, and I was sitting on my porch, and I came in, and I was looking at something, and I looked up at the television, and I just saw there was like 6 lanes of traffic going all the same way, stopped. Just 6 lanes of cars stopped, and it looked like it went on forever. And so I unmuted it, and it was people waiting in food lines, food banks, waiting in line to pick up food for the holidays. And man, it was humbling, to say the least. It was I didn't feel any. I don't feel pity, but definitely empathy. I haven't ever gone hungry at a holiday ever, and I grew up with some fucked up holidays, but never ever did I go hungry. But I have been hungry, and I think about, man, all these people that are out of work. And last year, they were interviewing some folks were like, last year everything was business as usual, and this year we find ourselves in a line at a food bank. And man, this COVID virus and all this did not care if anyone was white, black, Asian, Indian. Didn't matter. Didn't matter if you were Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, green, libertarian. Didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And I don't give a fuck right in this moment at all about any of that either. I don't care who you voted for. I think that you should have food, and I think your kids should have food. And it's a hard swallow for me, as many billions of dollars that were made by some of the top billionaires in this country, and that our food lines are the longest that they've been since the Great Depression. So, if they're not going to do anything about it, we have to. Those of you that believe that we're responsible for each other, that believe that that are leaders in their community, and wherever you live, I posted the link on my Facebook page today. Wherever you live, there's most likely a food bank or some kind of resource where you can donate and help with people that are hungry and homeless or just need food. And the Central Texas Food Bank, I put a link up to that, and you guys can find that if you live in Central Texas. But whatever, if you can give food, if you can give money, if you can give your time, if you can share it, I mean, you know, we didn't. I had posted yesterday asking people that hadn't gotten their government the check yet for the COVID because I haven't, nor has my wife. And we're not starving by a stretch of the imagination. Before COVID started, I was having a lot of dental work done. This whole side, here to here, replaced. And throughout the COVID, first the dentist office was closed down after I started this. I had a temporary bridge, and then we have lost two streams of income since this started. Like I said, we're not starving or anything, and I'm not sweating it. We're still running a pit bull rescue, and we're in the negative. None of that matters because we're not in that position. You know what I mean? I want to get this replaced, so that's why I was posting. Does anybody have any solutions that they did because they hadn't heard anything? And we kept every time we'd email or do whatever that the website IRS website said to do, we get nothing responses. So, and we got some good solutions, which we were able to call an office, and now we get a meeting on January 7th to find out. And that being said, I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful because I'm not hungry at all. We're not even close to that. We bought gifts, and we are so. I'm just grateful that we are in a position that we haven't had to go to something. We haven't had to go to a food bank, and we would. That's where we got into the volunteering and service game. Was working with an organization called Food Not Bombs in Rochester, New York, and the whole motto. And they're pretty revolutionary at the time, anarchists. Their motto is because food grows on trees, and it does. And in a country as wealthy and abundant as the United States of America, it's hard to swallow. It's hard to swallow that people are hungry. It is because food grows on trees, and we've commoditized it. We've made it such a commodity that people are starving, and at the same time, some of the top billionaires in our country got that much richer throughout this process. Yeah, and it makes me question morality of our country, where that's okay. But anyway, and then you can call me a communist or whatever. I'm not. But I can't sit and wonder when I look at those cars and truckloads of families that are coming to get meals, just so they have a meal together on the holidays, on Christmas Day. While a very small few have so much. And that's a question of what are we accepting as humans, not as Americans, as human beings. Man, I hope I didn't get too dark on this. It wasn't my purpose or my intent. In fact, seeing that made me feel so grateful and so empathetic and just made me feel so connected to humanity that it was a blessing for me to see that. And that might be weird to hear, but it just made me feel way more connected to my community, way more connected to my club, Austin Facial Art Club, where we've raised money and we've done food drives, and how challenging this is for everybody, this pandemic, and I'm going to do my best, and I encourage everybody else to be extra kind for this next couple weeks. Everybody's going through some shit, man. Everybody. And be kind, because that's what baby Jesus would do, along with smoke cannabis and do great things. That's the greatest thing you could do. Just show some kindness, some empathy, and help. Put your fucking elf hat on and help somebody. I love you guys. I'm so grateful that I even get to fucking do this and people watch it. That's a weekly gift I get, and it's great, and it's awesome, and I love it. I'm grateful for y'all. I hope everybody has just the most amazing holiday, whatever you're celebrating. I hope you get to at least touch someone, share physical contact, or through a computer, eye to eye, Zoom. And if not, just love yourself so much that you find yourself naked all day, touching yourself appropriately because you're by yourself. It's appropriate. And that's if you're alone, not if you're like have kids around and everything. That shit, I don't know, it's probably frowned upon. I want everyone to have a happy holiday and a happy new year. And I'll see you guys in January. coming here back with Jasmine like the flower. And I'm blessed and I'm grateful and I'm thankful for all of you. And I truly, when I say I love you, and I'm high, and you should get high too. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.